Welcome back to the channel. The international break is over finally after only 3 games into the Premier League season, but we've got club football back now, and we've got what some might call a South Coast derby, but some probably wouldn't. And we're looking forward to this one, I think. Just quickly before we get started, make sure you subscribe to me down below. It will really help me out. And check out Matt's stuff. That's his TikTok handle, I believe, but Instagram as well. Put in the description. Anything else? Twitter?
Yeah. Twitter and Instagram are the same.
Sweet. Yeah, nice one. But we'll jump right into it and we'll start with how Bournemouth can win. But very quickly, last game you beat Manchester City. You're probably heading into this with quite high hopes. Just a few pieces from that game before we jump into this.
I think first we had definitely a strong game plan. We sat back and we defended first half. Second half we went out, pressed them, and City were very uncomfortable with that. It's we always tend to drop off, I think, after a big win like that. Last time that wasn't the case, so we beat City and then we went and beat you at your place last season. It's tough to call. I'm very in the middle, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we'll jump into it. But you're so right. It's the same for you as us. We've just beat Spurs. We just had a big win, and then we always go and face a slightly lower opposition and sometimes struggle. Particularly, I wouldn't say you're a bogey team for us, but you've given us some tough games over the years, and you'll never be a game I'll look at and think, oh, this is a certain win, regardless of the circumstances. But especially coming off the back of City, it's going to be tough. But one place that we might be able to hit you hard is on the transition. Has that been an issue for you this season?
Yeah, definitely. I think we just commit so many bodies forward, and we got two absolute slugs in defence in Duncan Van Hecker. And if you just hit us with pace on the break, then it could be long.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. We're already quite a transition team, but we have fast players on the wings in Semenyo, Brooks, and especially Evan Olsen. He's very good at making those runs in behind, and you saw that with the goal against Tottenham where Senesi played a beautiful little ball with his left foot through. Evan Olsen runs through, and it makes the finish. So transitions definitely, especially if sort of we manage to press the ball out of you somewhere in the middle of the park. That might be an opportunity for us. But would you say this is something we should be worried about on the flip side of you hitting us on the transition?
Yeah, I think we do have a lot of pace going forward as well. You look at Matoma, you look at Minte in particular. You just don't want to be 1v1 in a big open space against him. And same with Matoma, really. But it's just the pace that Minte has and how direct he is as well. It's scary, really.
Yeah, it could really be quite a back and forth game, this one, as both of us are quite exciting transitional teams coming up against each other. You never know what will happen, but we'll have to see there. Another weakness of yours, you mentioned set pieces.
Yep, we hired a set piece coach, I think, a few days before the opening game of the season against Fulham, and we conceded a 96th minute corner, which wasn't fun. And we just looked pretty dire on set pieces. I mean, we were okay against City, to be fair, but defensively, especially, we just looked awful.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of us having too much set piece threat this season, but we have obviously Diacate's come in. Senesi has been quite a goal threat in potentially not last year, but the year before.
He's a bit small, isn't he, Senesi?
He's not the tallest centre back, but he was definitely more goal scoring than Zabani over their years at the club.
Okay.
Decent headers. I think it's more his movement where he gets into a position, but even not just your sort of traditional ball comes in, bang. Senesi will always be there to pick up a scrap if the ball's bouncing around in the box. He'll just come in and manage to get something on the end of that. So I think we might be able to see something there. You know, we've got a few players in the squad at the moment who are quite good at taking. So Brooks, I would say Alex Scott, if he starts, has always been good at taking corners. So it'll be interesting to see if we can hit you there. But as I say, I wouldn't say this season it's been a massive strength of ours, or ever particularly, but we'll see. We'll see. Now let's move on to how Brighton can win, because we've got to be aware of your strengths, especially as we come off the back of a big win. We need to make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves. And you already mentioned them a little bit there as we were talking about transitions, but your wingers, particularly a strength of yours this season?
Definitely, and Minte, as I say, his output is really, really good, and he just beats his man, and either he can cut in or go around the outside. His composure's improved a lot. He got into the final third and just panicked a little bit and rushed his decision making, and in that aspect, he's really, really improved. Added composure to his game, which was needed, very needed, because honestly, he looked like a volunteer at times. It's just a volunteer with pace. And yeah, as I mentioned, Matoma as well, we don't really need to go into detail. He's world class, but yeah, I think end product can sometimes be an issue with them too. But you get a ball in the right area, then anything can happen.
Yeah. So you said end product, is that in terms of them getting a shot off, or even in terms of setting someone else up?
Yeah, both really. Either winger can go both inside and outside, like I said with Minte. But the end product is a little inconsistent. I will say that.
Yeah, okay. And I would say with essentially Danny Welbeck starting up front for you, if them two aren't giving him the best of opportunities, I don't really see him creating something out of nothing. And at the same time, I'd say Diakite and Senesi are now looking to get into a groove as a defensive partnership. They might be able to snuff out any potential plays that slip through well. But I would say, as you mentioned, the wingers, our fullbacks might be a difficult point in this game. Firstly, Truffert has looked exceptional this season. Going forward, very, very good. Even defensively, very, very composed. More than Kirkes, I would say. But just the fact that he does bomb forward a lot of the time. You say Minte has this incredible pace that could really catch us out just on a fast break, something like that. But I would say the issue for us is more on that right-hand side. I don't know if Adam Smith is going to be fit. We're recording this on Monday, so we haven't seen the press conferences. But I think Adam Smith is supposed to be out, in which case we have two options. Araujo, who you mentioned to me, you thought he looked quite good when you watched him last season.
Yeah.
But I just, pre-season, that cup game, he actually got a red card in. So if it's Carabao Cup...
Oh, of course, you're out, aren't you?
But it was 2 yellows, so he might have served that against Spurs. Do you know what? I'm going to quickly check and I'll cut the video.
Who else do you have?
So I'm about to mention someone we've just brought in. Okay, so he's just done his suspension in the league. Okay. No, Araujo is available because it was only 2 yellow cards, so he served that 1 match suspension in the league when we played Tottenham. But as I say, just that game against Brentford on its own, he was awful and topped it off with a red card. Pre-season hasn't looked great. Even in the few matches he played last season, I don't think he looked anything special. Aside from him, we have this new lad called Alex Jimenez from AC Milan.
Oh, yeah, of course. I like him. I really like him.
Could you tell us anything about his play style? Because I haven't watched him personally.
I'd say he's quite similar to sort of a right-sided Kirkes, if that makes sense, in terms of his tenacity, how he gets forward as well. He's quite fast, nippy. I think you've done really, really well to pick him up, and also very good on FM, so that always helps.
Literally, all the players we buy, like Alex Scott, Zabani, are all good on FM, and some of them look like they're coming true. But yeah, I'm hoping he will play. He's on loan, but I believe an obligation to buy if he plays like 19 games or something. So I think that's a good pickup, and I would really like to see him playing in this game. And hopefully he can impress us. But as I say, new player coming in, we don't know. And against Matoma, potentially that could be an area for you to exploit. But
how much is the option? Do you know?
I believe around 18. I don't know if that's euros.
Oh, okay. That's a result, that. Done well.
Just over 20 million euros. So
good deal.
Pounds. Yeah. You have high praise for him, so I'm excited to see that. The final point I would just touch on is sort of, as you head into the late stages of the game, could we see us suffering to you? Because you were giving some praise to your new Greek striker, who I can't pronounce his name. Could you help me out?
Simas.
Yeah. So you said Welbeck hasn't been great this season, but if that new striker comes on sort of last 20, 30 minutes, do you think he could have an impact?
Definitely, and it's probably a bit up in the air if he's going to be in the squad, let alone getting minutes. We've just slowly eased him and Babis Kostoulas as well, the other Greek striker, in slowly, because they're only young and they were injured as well, so that's fair enough to slowly ease them in. But Simas has proved he's really, really got something about him. I'm really excited. He's, I think, 19, maybe 20. So strong, powerful, good carrier as well. He's clinical. His movement's excellent. There's so much to like about him. He's good in the air as well. He's a complete forward, as they say.
That does sound very, very interesting. I would, not for our sake, but I would like to see how he plays if he comes on and doesn't score a goal. But, I mean, we held out against Tottenham with our 1-0 lead, but I did feel like Tottenham somewhat grew into the game, even though they never really got going. We looked more threatened towards the end, but we held on, so I guess I can't criticise us too much. But then you look at that Liverpool game where we came back, but then we just crumbled in the last sort of 10 minutes, conceding 2 goals. Whether you can put some pressure on us towards the end of the match, whether that's down to our style of play, potentially tiring our players out because it's so intense, whether that's us having a lack of options off the bench. I know Brighton fans in my comments section were raging with me, telling me how your depth is so much better than ours, particularly in the attack. I don't know if I haven't looked, but have you had a lot of success in the late periods of games this season?
We did last game at City. Not particularly. Our game management can be rubbish at times, so it's a bit up in the air. The subs from Hertz are very inconsistent. Like last game, we brought on Milner, Rutter, Gruder, and Iari, and they all of them changed the game completely. Like I'm mentioning James Milner and changed the game against Man City in the same sentence, which is mental.
I'm back. My phone has just overheated, so I've had to move to the laptop, hence the poor quality. But we're almost at the end of the video anyway. I mean, we're pretty much wrapping up. So if you could just give me your score prediction for the game, Matt.
I never liked doing score prediction. I'm going to say, just going to go pretty neutral and 1-1. I don't think that's a terrible result, to be honest, and it could be a decent point come the end of the season. So
I think both of us would take that right now, considering where both teams are. And I think come the end of the season, we could well both be battling with each other for Europe, and you're better off taking a point than losing 3 in what is definitely a 6-pointer, I would predict. Now, what will my prediction? Do you know what? I've got faith in us to take the win. I'll go with 2-1, but I like you say, I could literally see this going either way, and a draw might be a sensible bet, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, make sure you check out all of Matt's stuff, and I will catch you guys later.